catch a little piece like that. Oh, my God. Oh, boy, I'd be tickling it. Woo! All stuff going to pieces. This milk it, see. And, well, my eyes are running water. Don't get me yet. That's what I'm going to the hospital for.
You might have cataracts, Roy.
Roy, do you like music?
Oh, I'm crazy about music. Oh.
Are you?
Yes, indeed. I used to play a little music myself, but...
what did you play?
Something they call a piano.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of them.
Well, we had a song about piano. I used to play it. I love piano, I love piano. I love to hear somebody play. A grand piano, nearly carries me away. So I know a fine way for to treat a Steinway. So that was a beautiful song, right? I used to play and sing that there.
You're a good singer.
Oh, I wish I could sing.
Well, you
I'm
can.
all horsed up now.
Do you know any more songs?
Oh, I'm full of my wife usually just fill me up full of songs all the time.
Sing another one for me.
But,
Roy, sing another one for me.
Well, I'm going to sing you this song when I went to camp.
Okay.
This is a quartet song, see? Soon as I hit camp, you know, the boys could sing. The boys said, can you sing? Oh, we get together, you know, let's sing a song. Well, who's going to name it? One guy said, I'm going to sing Now on the Left Home. I wonder how the old folks are at home. Well, we all wrote it out and got together and priced on it. I can't sing like I'm just hoarse with a cold, but it is a beautiful thing. I wonder how the old folks are at home. I wonder if they'll pray for the boy that's gone away and left those old folks all alone. I wonder if... No, wait a minute now, there's another part to it. Oh, it's been so long, you know, in the 1970s. Now, there's another part to it instead of this part is, in the evening, by the moonlight, you could hear those banjos ringing. In the evening, by the moonlight, you could hear those dark kids singing. Now, that's what I wonder how the old folks are at home. That's where that's coming out. I had the cart full of horns. Well, of course, you know, we had to have some fun. Boy, we had some boys could really cut loose. I was a tenor man in them days. Oh man, I could wear tenor out. I'd go on up there and get it and hold it. And that bass man, though, I'm telling you, is beautiful. But I always loved singing. Now this girl that kept her car here, her name was Annalon, and let me see, her name is Annalon, and she was the youngest. She was just a kid. Well, she's about 14, and we had a song. I remember we used to sing a quartet. Sweet Anna Light, and something like that.
Adelaide, yeah.
And I changed it to Sweet Anna Lon. And when she come over here, I said, oh, that's my Anna on. Sweet Anna Lon, my Anna Lon, in all my dreams, your fair face been, you are the flower of my heart, sweet Anna. I used to say that to the girl. Oh, she's come grab me. I said, okay, Adeline, give me some sugar.
What was your favorite song?
So the old man, her daddy, I guess he found out we were singing together, you know. He said, Roy said, you wouldn't take advantage of a kid, would you? I said, Richard, what are you talking about? I don't take advantage of nobody. I couldn't if I wanted to. I said, Lord of mercy. I said, she's safe at my place, she's at yours. Well, he said, oh, I just wanted to ask you. He said, I want to feel satisfied. I said, yes, and I want to feel satisfied, and she wants to feel satisfied. And I said, she's happy to be here. And so I said, don't worry about that. I said, even I won't let nobody else come and impose on her.
Roy, what's your favorite song?
I said, I'll take care of him on.
What's your...
I don't know what it is now. My days used to sing so many songs that she had a song about her daddy. I kind of like that. I'd sing it to my daddy. But it's, I don't know what I'd sing it. It's a kind of a hard song to sing. But I don't know much of it no more. And I started out. Daddy, dear old daddy. How was that? No, it's that's the head of my song. It started out like this. I want a girl just like the girl that married dear old dad. That's where it starts out. She's the only girl that daddy ever had. Dear old-fashioned girl with a heart so true. She never loved nobody else but you, Daddy. Dear old Daddy, you're the only one I can see. Daddy, dear old Daddy, you've been more than a mother to me. That's the way it went. Oh,
that's pretty. That's pretty.
Oh, yeah, that's Daisy used to say, I learned it from her. Daisy, she was a wonderful singer. We used to sing together. I'd sing together, and she starts somewhere. She had a restaurant in Kansas City. That's before I married her. And she sang down at a place called the Blue Goose in Kansas City. She sang there, about 2 or 3 nights out of a week. And she was a wonderful singer. She sang out to the soldiers' home for the old vets one time. That's when she sang As Good Man Is Hard to Find. But she used to have all kinds of kid songs, you know, that she'd say. She'd say, come on, let's get back to kids. I said, no, how you going to do that? She said, I'll sing you a kid song. I said, what is it? I don't know, but I remember that, not that kid song. Won't you come over to my house? Won't you come over and play? I'll buy you some candies and sweet things. I'll put your hair in a curl. If you only come over to my house and play like you're my little girl. That's another she used to sing. Oh, she was full of it. I know what I've done without my days. But when we get together and sing it, oh boy, this is beautiful.
I bet the walls really rocked when you guys got together and sang.
Huh?
The walls really rocked when you guys got together and sang.
Oh boy.
Ask him about his religion.
Hey, Leroy,
Huh?
what about your religion?
My religion?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now listen. I got so much religion, I don't know which is the best. I'll tell you what I mean. I was born in a big family. There was 12, 7 boys and 5 girls. All right. The old folks was Methodist. See? Nationally, they generally raise the kids is what they are. Just like the Catholics, they raise the kids Catholic. But we was all Methodists, so we got big enough to kind of look out after our own welfare. And they all went every which way. The oldest one turned to Baptist. My brother Arthur, he's the oldest one. He went Baptist. And he was a, what you call it, a deacon in the Baptist church. That's next to the minister, ain't that? I guess it is. Well, he had a wife and a whole bunch of kids. She was Baptist. And I took all the kids to church every Sunday. All Baptist. And then my niece is here right today. Now, they one or two of them, this Baptist. After they got grown married off, they got to be everything. I got a niece out there that was raised in the Baptist church, and now she's a Seventh-day Adventist. One of my brothers, Oscar, he started out in the Baptist church. He turned to Seventh-day Adventist first. Well, then when he turned to Seventh-day Adventist first, he got all the rest of them nieces of mine in his church. And my brother Austin, he really knew the Bible. But he said them Baptist people don't know the Bible like them Adventists, and they don't use the Bible like the Adventists did, see? So now, when they have what's called watch meeting, the Baptists have watch meeting. Set up 12 o'clock the whole year out in the new year. My brother Austin and them sitting back laughing at him. I said, how crazy can you get? Why, he said the new year was in at sundown. He said, read your Bible. It says, from eve to eve shall ye celebrate my Sabbath. Eve to eve. When the sun goes down, then they quit. When the sun comes up, they start going to church. See? From eve to eve shall ye celebrate my Sabbath. Now that's what they go on. From sun to sun. That's from eve to eve. And the seventh, he worked 6 days, and on the 7th day he rested. And he said, that's Saturday. Now, when they come at the counting the days, see, Well, you don't know where the Sunday's supposed to be the first day, isn't it? It is on the calendar.
Yeah, it is on the calendar.
Well, he said that's been changed. Now it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday is the seventh day. And so that's the day. Said he could have rode on Saturday, but he rested. That's a day of rest.
No, that's what
Came up on Easter Sunday. And they hold Saturday as the right day to worship on.
You just named. You just
Well,
named.
are you a Baptist?
Huh?
Are you a Baptist?
Oh, he's
A Baptist.
Are
He's
you
a Methodist.
Are you a Methodist?
Well,
he lost me.
I tell you, I am,
He's listening.
now, I don't belong to any church.
I don't know. I don't think you better.
I try to figure out which is the best, and I ain't figured it out yet. Well, there's good and bad in all churches, no
That's
matter what church it is.
You're right.
There's good and bad in
Last
them.
time, and I figured
And
the problem was
now,
the volume wasn't
the biggest church we have, the most popular
I thought
church,
you had a new plan on what he's going to do.
is nothing but the Catholic church.
You worked out
The Catholic is the biggest.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
And the most
Out there.
Yeah.
people
Yeah, you
are
said you could
Catholics
change
and
that
then
to
other
all that to 5 or
denominations.
10 or whatever way you want it to go.
Now, that's not saying that they're the best,
Here.
but that's saying one thing, that everybody can't be crazy. You see? And they got the majority of people. They must have something. They have. The Catholic people does think. I live in a Catholic neighborhood, and I never so well taken care of in all my life.
Yeah. We want to get down.
A Catholic won't see you go hungry.
We'll find out.
A Catholic will he'll feed a tramp, he'll feed a hobo.
I just drove down.
Other people won't go about your business. You don't mind it. Why don't you get yours like I got mine?
We need to leave about 30 minutes.
Can you tell me about your family, your mother, your father?
I can tell you about my father because I didn't know much about my mother. Oh, that time
I guess Abraham,
I was born, she told me how, when I was born, and she memorized my date of birth and had me to repeat it all my life. That's the reason I know how old I am. So, well, Paul, he was a slave. Slave. Well, when Abe Lincoln got elected, now Abe Lincoln, now in slavery time, now Paul, he told me, said I never was mistreated. I never was whipped, never was abused. They kept a barrel of whiskey in the cellar with one of them old wooden bungs in it and a quart tin cup, pint tin cup. All you got to do is open the cellar door and go on down in there, draw your drink. Come on up out there if you could. Said, you never seen nobody drunk? Paul said. Now this was where Paul was raised, because Paul was one of the family. My daddy was a slave to his own daddy, old man Jake Love. See, that's where Paul got the name Love. Old John Love was an Irishman. He had a plantation over there, so many acres, he didn't know how many did have. Had all kinds of houses on his plantation, all the colored people all working around and on this plantation. Oh, I worked out there too. I was a slave, he said. Even if I was half white, I was a slave. Now, The reason why that I hate to say this. Now the colored women and colored men, they wasn't classed as human beings. They was classed as chattel. Chattel is cows, pigs, horses, and everything belongs to you. You could sell them. You could do everything but eat them. You couldn't eat them. So Paul was chattel. See? All right. Now, my mother, my grandmother, I seen my grandmother. I seen my grandmother been right on this hill.
Is that right?
Yes. She was a brown-skinned woman like me. Like my color. And so she was old Jake Love's slave, see? And he had her in the house, helping his wife. He had a white wife and a lot of white sons, pure white. Jake did. And so he had an agreement with his wife to raise some more slaves. All right. Well, he took this, my grandma, in the house, and it agreed with his wife. The more colored children they had, the more slaves they had. And these slaves were worth plenty of money. You had to go down in your pocket to buy a slave. That made him richer. See? Same the time, he treated them as a slave, had to, but nevertheless they had the better of the treatment, see? Now, Paul, he done chores around the house that the other slaves wouldn't allow him to do, see? And so, there's one little incident I want to tell you. Now, people don't believe in people that can do things like witches, witchcraft. Witchcraft is wonderful remedy. Now, Paul wasn't the man that would sit until alive. He wouldn't sit and make it alive for nothing. Whatever he told you, you put your foot on it. Because he told you what he seen. I'll never forget it. They had a big, lot of cattle, you know. And they'd have so many in the corral to milk, and so many out on the prairie, see. Well, here come an old witch woman. Here come an old witch woman, all ragged and dirty and everything. She asked Paul's daddy or the women folks in the house, could she have some buttermilk? So she looked all dirty and trampy about it. But no, said, you get on away from here. Said, we ain't got no buttermilk. Anyhow, well, can you give me a drink of sweet milk? No, I ain't gonna give you a drink of sweet milk. Paul was out there in the lot with his cattle. When he seen this woman come. So they turned her away. She said, okay, your cattle ain't gonna do you no good. She said, they won't do you no good. When she went out of that corral and shut the door, said them cattle all went there following her, and broke the door down, jumped over the fence, and followed that woman on down the road. Paul said he's standing, just stampede. And then, well, those days, well, seen that, well, come back here, I'll give you some milk. Come back here, you can get all the milk you want. Well, she stopped. She come home, she said, well, when she come back, the cattle come back. She come on in there, and she went and shut the door. But Pa had to fix all the fences. When they jumped over the fences and tore fix all them rail fences down, back up. She said, I don't want you milk. I didn't want you milk in the first place.
Oh.
I just wanted to see where your heart was. Said, you don't have no heart. And said, you wasn't going to have no cattle either. Now, if there was a witch, Paul said there's one, witchcraft. And now, it's hard for me to believe, but Paul said, I know it's so.
Roy, we're going to have to go.
Oh, ain't that too bad?
If I give you a kiss on the cheek, will you blush?
You mean blush white or blush black?
Would you blush, yeah?
I got a blush. Which color was it? I got, thank you. How sweet it is.
There's a song like that in there.
You know who made that up? That big old fella, he did that.
Time to sing one more before we go.
Well, that's nice of you. I'm glad you came because you never...
tulip.
You don't know who you're entertaining just like that. You might be entertaining an angel. I was right
Just
there.
about.
I was
Just
right there
about.
behind it. That's what the book said.
I've really enjoyed listening to you.
Well, I'm glad you do because I got this from my brother Oscar. He knows the Bible from start to finish and preached the Bible. He went off to preacher's college, and I paid him some money while he's in there. I sent him stuff so he could come out to be a minister. And when Oscar graduated out of preacher's college as a Seventh-day Adventist minister, he had his first sermon right down there in Leavenworth. And I'm working down there for Arthur Moss, the 168 that I was taking care of, Miss Moss and Arthur Moss. And I said, Miss Moss, my brother Oscar, he's ordained minister and he's going to preach his first sermon tonight. I sure wish I could go. She said, what's the hand even going? I said, I can't walk way out downtown. He jumped the buggy. Said, you hitch it up every morning for Bonnie to go to high school, don't you? I said, yeah. Well, hitch it up for yourself and go down to your brother Oscar's church. Please let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. That's my name. Keep the love light burning all along night through. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you.
Clap.
That's what I'm saying. She comes up, Susie just announced it. Roy said, say let me call you sweetheart. Now sit down. Then she come grab me.